What's up, Bob? Time? What is the deal, YouTube? What's the deal, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So, if you are a PlayStation gamer, make sure that you add me on PlayStation Network, Hard Hitting Sports. If you are an Xbox gamer, make sure that you add me on the Xbox One Network, Hard Hitting Sports as well. I'm not on all the time. Normally I'm on. You can find me on during the weekends and at nights. And it's going to get even more hectic because my schedule is going crazy right now. I got a lot of things going for me. But anyway, let's dive right into this. And I want to lay out reasons why I feel like we have gotten worse as a football team going from the 2015 season to the 2016 season. First, starting off, I guess we can start off with the defensive line. Going into last season, I was very optimistic with the relationship between Cameron Wake and Ndamukong Suh. Cameron Wake had just had a decent season the year before, and I felt like with Suh coming in and drawing double teams, Cameron Wake would have a tremendous season. Now, he did do some good things. We didn't get the pressure that I thought we were going to receive even with him in, but he was starting to turn it on before he ended up getting injured, and that injury is a very problem with this year's team. Of course, Cameron Wake injured as opposed to last year he was healthy. So that's one downgrade we have. And of course, we did lose Olivia Vernon, who had a decent season last year as well. And there was one more guy, I think it was Derek Shelby. Derek Shelby ended up leaving and going to the Falcons. So we lost two people off his defensive line. We added a guy in Mario Williams that had 5 sacks last year, and we added another guy from the Jacksonville Jaguars who had, I think he had 4 sacks last year. So yeah. Then we go to the secondary. Last year, if you remember my video, I was absolutely livid at the fact that we drafted a hurt wide receiver instead of going out and getting the cornerback that we needed. We had one cornerback on the team that was worth a shit, and that was Brent Grimes, and he got roasted some last year as well, but he was definitely our best cornerback. This year we came out and we outright cut him, and he ended up getting picked up like a day later by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We cut him. He stayed a free agent for 1 day, and Tampa Bay swooped in and said, "You fucking fool, Dolphins," and they grabbed him. So we've gotten worse in the secondary. Linebackers, we've added Kiko Alonso. If Kiko Alonso stays healthy, he was the biggest improvement by far that this team has made so far in this season. But that if is the motherfucking size of a school bus, because that bitch got hurt when he was signing the contract. Kiko Alonso signed the contract and got hurt for 3 weeks. That motherfucker stay fucking hurt. Stay hurt. But anyway, so linebackers stayed relatively flat unless Kiko Alonso comes in and helps us. Cornerbacks is a downgrade. Defensive line is a downgrade. Now we shift to the offense. We lost Rashard Matthews, which he was injured during the back end of the season, but he had a pretty solid season. He definitely contributed more to this team than Devontae Parker, who was hurt. We lose Lamar Miller, who had an underused decent season. I think he would have had better numbers if we would have given him more touches. But I felt like it was good to let him go, because if you got a good offensive line, you can make a good running back. That's how I look at it. I feel like the running back is the most undervalued position in the NFL, because if you've got a good offensive line, a good running back, unless you find yourself an Adrian Peterson, a fucking Marshall Faulk, a Barry Sanders, or somebody, a Bo Jackson, somebody like that, you can draft any running back and put him behind a good offensive line. And as long as he's not as bad as that kid from Alabama, forget his fucking name, Trent Richardson. As long as he's not as bad as Trent Richardson, where the motherfucker has a big hole over here and he cuts it into the wrong. He can look right at the big ass hole and cuts it into a just a stupid ass running back. But anyway, we lost Rashard Matthews. We lost Lamar Miller. Who else did we lose? I don't remember who else we lost. Lamar Miller, Rashard Matthews. There's another name that I can't fucking think of right now. I don't remember if he's on the offense or defense, but definitely we've gotten worse as a football team in this offseason. And of course, we added the cat that used to play for Seattle. He was on the Philadelphia Eagle. We added Maxwell, who's not a #1 cornerback. He's not. And if anybody wants to tell me that Maxwell is better than Brent Grimes, do me the biggest favor. Do me a favor. Go to your bathroom or your kitchen. Take your hand, right? Take this hand. Run it under some cold water. Run it under some cold water for about 15 seconds. Just let it run. Let your hand get real wet. Real wet. Don't shake it or nothing. Just let it get wet. Stick it back under there if it's not wet enough. Let your hand get real wet. Right? Let your hand get real wet. And then lift it up right beside your face, right? While it's still wet. And slap the shit out your goddamn self. No goddamn Maxwell ain't better than no Brent Grimes. You out your goddamn mind. Maxwell has never been a #1 corner, man. He's not a #1 corner. If you watched him, if you watched film on him from Philadelphia last year, that motherfucker was getting roasted too. He's never been a #1 corner. Now I understand that the scheme fits for some of these players was not what they were used to last year. It's that way for Mario Williams, and it's that way for Byron Maxwell. So I understand that, and hopefully our team our coaching staff is intelligent enough to maximize what these guys do best. Put Mario Williams back at the 4-3 defensive end and put Maxwell more into a zone scheme. I understand that, but I'm just saying, off of what I have to go off of, what I see right now, he's nowhere near Brent Grimes, especially as a playmaker. It's not even close. Brent Grimes was a fucking playmaker. He was a difference maker. He was a guy that came up with just miraculous fucking interceptions for our defense, and I just don't see that same athletic ability with Maxwell. Of course, Maxwell's a big fucking cornerback. Now, I've done a little bit of griping, so I'm a person that just doesn't like to speak about the problems. I want to speak about some of the solutions and some of the things that would help us. The first thing, and some of these things are going to be a little bit far-fetched, just so you know. But I'm just speaking of things that could definitely help our defense and our offense. The first thing I would do if I was the general manager of this team is Cleveland seems to be having a fire sale. The Cleveland Browns are having an absolute fire sale. They've got a new coach. The shit that they were doing is not working, and they're letting players go and getting rid of guys. They've got a lot of holes to fill in Cleveland. And they've got some players that they've drafted that haven't necessarily worked out for that team. But one guy that would fit so well in this defense is Joe Hayden. So here's what I would do. Hey, Cleveland, what up with that second or third round draft pick for Joe Hayden? All they can say is no. I would definitely go after. I would love it if we could go after Joe Hayden and put Joe Hayden in this defense. You put Joe Hayden at the 1, you put Maxwell back at the 2 where he's used to, at the second cornerback. Now we're getting somewhere. And that immediately addresses the need for a cornerback. Now, you can go to the draft at that 13th pick, and you can start to draft the best available. Now, I've heard people talking about Shaq Lawson and shit like that. No. No. If Eli Apple or Hargraves is available at that spot, we take the cornerback. We need it. If you look at the Super Bowl last year, one of the biggest things that stuck out to me was Roby, Hakeem Talib, and Chris Harris locking down receivers. And you might say, well, they had the pressure and the pressure was coming around, but Cam Newton had to hold the ball as well. He didn't have anybody to throw to. They completely took the middle of the field away. They locked that tight end down, who was his best receiver. And I keep wanting to call that man Jeremy Shockey. I know it's not Jeremy Shockey. It's the other kid from the University of Miami, but I just can't remember his fucking name. What the fuck is his name? What the fuck is his name? Olsen. Okay. Yes, Greg Olsen. So, yeah. So, I would definitely, if I can get the third cornerback, I would definitely go ahead and get that third cornerback so that we can lock teams down. Lock their receivers fucking down. We want to be able to lock their receivers down. In the second round, I would definitely try to continue to improve our offensive line. Offensive line still needs work. We still need guards. So definitely, I want to improve our offensive line. And I was telling people, and it's this kid that I've been watching, man. I've been watching tape on him. I don't watch slave ball, so it's really difficult. But I got a chance to look at some of the combine numbers. And fucking Keith Marshall out of Georgia jumps right off the page to me. He's a burner. He ran a 4.3 840. He's an absolute fucking speed demon at running back, and he could be another guy. He could be a guy that you could stick back there and have him run back kicks as well. But definitely a guy who can replace Lamar Miller rather easily. I think he's got some good intuition with hitting holes, and he's just got a burst, an absolute burst about him. If you haven't heard of him, I'll stick a link down in the description so that you can go and check him out. But his name is Keith Marshall. He's a running back from Georgia. 4.3 840 speed. Let me take a look at his measurables. He is 5'11", 219 pounds. So he's not that small. He's a pretty big, he's a decent sized back at 5'11", almost 220. And he's got burners. He's got absolute fucking burners. People are projecting him to go in the fifth round. This is the guy I'm talking about. This guy. Absolute burner. His name is Keith Marshall. Absolute burner of a running back. So definitely would be a nice addition. And of course, Eli Apple is the cornerback that I like, and that's why I like him. Big fucking corner. What is his name? Hargraves. I think I spelled that shit wrong. Hargraves is from Georgia, I think. I mean, Florida. See, he's a smaller cornerback. I would rather have Eli Apple than Hargraves. Hargraves is a big fucking corner. You got Hargraves out there. We get Hargraves. We get Joe Hayden. And we have Byron Maxwell, and we're able to completely lock teams down and be big and physical, because you have to, and you got to look at what other teams are doing as well. And if you've seen what the Patriots just did, you already know what's finna happen. They finna come out there with big fucking Gronk, Bennett, with Edelman on one side and that other receiver on the other side, and they're gonna try to work the shit out the seams. Remember what they used to do with Aaron Hernandez and Gronkowski? This is why I'm saying we need 3 cornerbacks. three cornerbacks who we can go out there and line up with, especially a big guy like Maxwell and like Eli Apple, because these guys are coming out there with big fucking middle of the field threats, and we need to be able to take care of that. You know what I mean? So I would even, if I'm playing the Patriots, I probably never go to a 3-4 or 4-3 defense. I'll probably come out there with a nickel defense every time I touch the field, because they're not going to run the ball that much. You want to be able to line a cornerback up on one of those tight ends and not put your middle, because we don't have, unless Kiko Alonso's healthy. To me, well, damn, what is his name? I forget the linebacker on the left side. He's decent in coverage, but other than that, I don't like any of our linebackers. And Deion Jordan, if Deion Jordan comes back, we can line him up on Gronkowski and stick a cornerback over Bennett. But other than that, hell no, I won't call Misi on nobody or the other fucking guy. It's trash. We're gonna get burnt. But yeah, man, definitely. Like I said, that would be my fixes for this. But we definitely got worse this offseason, man. We went backwards. There's not, if you're a Dolphin fan right now, there's not much for us to be optimistic about. Like last year, man, I was like, fuck, we're going to win 10 games. This year, I'm like, fuck, we're going to win 5 games. Unless Adam Gase is able to turn it around with Ryan Tannehill and help Ryan Tannehill take it to the next level. Fingers crossed. We're able to find some sort of running back. I don't know what the durability is going to be on Jay Ajayi. Then we have to think about this hurt wide receiver that we drafted last year, who was banged up in college and then spent most of his first season out as well, which was fucking stupid. Now you look at, come on, man. Marcus Peters was right there for the taking. 7 interceptions and 8 interceptions, ended up being a Pro Bowler. That was one of the biggest mistakes we made last year. Huge mistake. I'd rather have Matthews, Rashard Matthews at wide receiver, and Marcus Peters at cornerback than what we got. Because Matthews had a good season before he got injured, and now he's on to another team. So I think we got like 40 days to the draft. Of course, I'm gonna be covering the draft just like I did last year. Here, probably in a new city. I'll probably be in Atlanta by that time. Don't know. Still up in the air of when the official move is gonna be made, but we'll see. But yeah, we got worse, and I feel like we got considerably worse, especially on the defensive side. Unless Cam Wade, I mean, we're able to pick up some corners. I would love it if we can make that trade and then go in the draft and make that trade, but I just feel like we're going to do something completely different. I even hear people talking about we should draft Ezekiel Elliott. With the secondary we got, these motherfuckers want us to get a running back, which there's going to be plenty of running backs in the first round. You are out of your fucking mind. And I've seen some tape on him. He's a pretty good running back. But 13th pick in the draft, good? Fuck no. I don't think any running back in this year's draft is good enough for a fucking 13th pick of the draft. Are you crazy? I would even be cool if we traded back and picked up some more picks, because we do have a few holes to fill. We've got linebacker concerns. We've got offensive line concerns. We've got, of course, secondary concerns. I would like to see us put a quarterback not named Matt Moore behind Ryan Tannehill and push him. If we can find us a gem in that third, I don't want us to draft a guy in the first round. But if we can find us a gem in the third, fourth round, why not? Get him. Stick him behind Tannehill and have him push the shit out of him. There's nothing wrong with healthy competition. I'm not optimistic about this season. Other teams got better. We got worse. The Patriots, of course, they traded their fucking defensive end for a guard, but this is the Patriots. The motherfuckers never lose on a deal. When they traded Richard Seymour, they didn't lose on that deal. When they traded the fucking dude to the Buccaneers, the offensive lineman, I think his name was Logan Mankin. When they traded him, they didn't lose on that deal. They hardly ever lose on these deals. I don't suspect they're gonna. I think Roy Jones. Jones is going to do well over there because he is going to a championship contender football team. Make no mistake about it. He isn't going to a scrub team. But I still feel like the Patriots are going to get the better of the deal. I mean, if he gets less than 10 sacks and the guy that they ends up getting protects Brady, Patriots winning that deal. Because they're gonna stick Jamal Sheard in that line. I think they got Mincy on the other side, so they'll be okay. Then they get Bennett. Now they got 2 tight ends to work up the seams. Now you got to deal with both of them big motherfuckers, and all we got is Maxwell. Oh my God. It's going to be a long season if we don't get our shit straight. If we go up there and we draft a fucking running back with our defense looking like this, we should boycott. If this team drafts a defensive end, no, not a defensive end. Yeah, even a defensive end, because I don't think the defensive end is the biggest concern right now. I think we need secondary. We need secondary that can cover. You can hit Brady once or twice. The Patriots will adjust to that shit. But if you got cornerbacks out there that can man up on the fucking receivers out there, we'll do better. Make him hold the ball longer so that the defensive ends and the D-line has time to get to the quarterback. If he can get it out, he's going to get it out. If he's got an opening, he's going to get it out. We need players that can make plays on the ball, which is why I don't understand why you get rid of Brent Grimes. I don't understand that shit. I don't like it. Absolutely not. I think we still got $30 million under the cap. And we let him go. Stupid. I would have been much more happier right now if we still had Grimes, we had Maxwell, and we had a 13th pick in the draft where we can possibly take another member of the secondary or take a linebacker. Stupid. But yeah, man, those are my thoughts. I'm about to get the fuck out of here. We got worse. And hopefully, please don't let this team be some stupid idiots. Please, I pray that we don't go out there and blow this draft. I pray that I'm not screaming at the screen going, why are we drafting this guy? Don't let us go out there and draft somebody that makes no sense like we did last year. Makes no sense. None at all. I don't care about the splashy pick. Like a dude was saying, well, we're concerned with being a splashy pick. That's why we drafted the hurt wide receiver that was hurt in college and came to the NFL hurt and only made 28 receptions. No. Let's make the best pick. And if Eli Apple or Hargraves is there, let's shore the secondary up. No fucking Ezekiel Elliott. Man, no Ezekiel Elliott. Please don't draft no Ezekiel Elliott in the first round. That's a disaster. That makes no sense. I would rather hand the ball to Jay Ajayi for 30 carries a game, 20 carries a game, and have Eli Apple in the secondary than to hand the ball to Ezekiel Elliott 30 times a game and get the shit roasted out of us because we don't have another cornerback. Easy. It's easy to say. Just like I said fucking last year. I would rather have Stills, Jennings, Landry, and Matthews and have Marcus Peters out there than to have Devontae Parker and the rest of the receivers and have nobody else in the secondary. And we got our ass toasted up and down the field last year. Fucking toasted. Trash. Anyway, man, I'm done fucking rambling. Get ready to watch this UFC fight tonight. I'll talk to you guys on draft night, man, or if some major fucking development happens. Peace.